1420, Talus River Valley, Northern Silk Road. Chapter 3, The Prince of Transoxania. The great Oirat's Kagan Ishintashi was a seasoned dog of battle, known for his treachery and warcraft throughout the Chinese Empire. He had defied every attempt the Chinese had employed to end his miserable existence. After years of constant bloodshed, the Yongle Emperor of the Ming dynasty had ensued for peace, sending an emissary and granting the Khan title of prince and offering his family honorary positions in exchange for his allegiance. Instead, the blackened severed head of the emissary had been found among the flower beds of the royal garden, deep within the walls of the Forbidden Palace. Zon had argued this very topic with the Minister of Trade, who had summoned him to Beijing to inform him of his change in assignment from his border command at the Shanghai Pass along the northern Great Wall. Zon had held his tongue, driving his nails deep into his thick calloused palms, as the minister ignorantly swept aside his objections to the mad attempt to send a military escorted caravan along the Mongolian-controlled Silk Road. His efforts had been in vain, however, and with a final bow, he had left the presence of the minister, bound with the honored duty to protect the Tarzarian envoy, Prince Besancourt, and to deliver the treasures of China to the vassals of an unknown northern queen, half a world away. The great caravan, with its soldiers in rank after rank, had left the Forbidden City, passing under the great western gate in a shower of spinning pink cherry blossoms and a throng of cheering people excited by the news of the great journey. However, those bright days filled with pride and glory were lost, replaced by the constant ache of the saddle and the ever-present danger clawing into the calm at the general center. Zon galloped hard to the center of the slowing line of the caravan, suddenly pulling hard on the reins of his bolting steed, drawing to a canter alongside the largest coach in the procession. The fat black body of the prince's carriage was massive, riding on 6 oversized spoked wheels, its curved ebony sides thrusting up from an ornate dust-covered gildwork of thick timbers. 8 straining horses pulled the weighty burden, their royal golden Persian bridles casting dim reflections on their thin sweat and dust-coated bodies. Perched on an elaborate bench-like outcropping of the carriage, above the rear of the Arabian stallions, were 2 eunuchs of the prince's royal house. Each man was wrapped in thick silks and fur-lined woolen jackets, their faces barely visible deep within the hoods that protected their delicate Persian skins against the bitter chill wind sweeping down from the snow-covered peaks. Upon seeing Zon they bowed. "Peace be unto the Emperor," they chimed and bowed in unison. "How may we help you, General?" "I need to speak with the prince," Zon announced over the loud creaking of the carriage. Slowly, one of the men bent down and spoke into a tube that wound into the coach. Momentarily, one of the many shrouded windows sunk into the surface of the carriage swung inward amid rippling white silk curtains. Slowly, a beautiful face, beset with a lazy, lascivious smile, emerged through the shimmering white veils. "Why must you disturb my prince?" her smoky eyes betraying her wanton state. Zon knew Kali, the prince's concubine for the long journey. She was famous in the red pleasure houses that lined the hill adjacent to the Forbidden Palace. He had no time for her games. Driven by the urgency of instinct, Zon replied in a commanding voice, "Please inform the young prince I have need to speak to him now." With a face twisting into a hateful grimace, Kali slipped back into the carriage. Zon rode alongside for many minutes before the princess's broad, hashish-haggard face appeared, his bloodshot eyes focusing in and out on the bright day. "General, what is it that you had to insult my concubine and arouse me from my slumber?" "I apologize, Prince Besancourt," Zon said in a strange voice. "I wanted to inform your eminence that I am halting the caravan. Several of my men have not returned and The prince's beady eyes suddenly focused in his thick, reddening, pallid face. His jaw trembled. "Are you insane? Not the Mongols again! I will not have it," he yelled in a quivering voice. "We will not stop again until we reach Taraz. Do you understand, General? Your fear and your infidel Mongol blood has done nothing but delay our arrival," he shouted, spittle flying from his angry, meaty lips. Zahn rose up, erect in the stirrups, staring directly into the angry prince's red-rimmed eyes. He focused his will and controlled his temper, but his voice still came out like ice as he continued. "As I have said, one of my advanced scouting parties did not report in. I have already called to the front and asked my commander to circle the caravan." The young sultan's eyes bulged in their sockets, and his face heated to a vivid red as he began to cry out his indignant outrage. But just as the abuse erupted, it was cut short by the echo of 1,000 drums that thundered down from the crags on the northern side of the valley. The general wheeled his horse toward the pulsing rhythm. Immediately Zahn's voice boomed down the ranks of soldiers. "Shield formation! Prepare the shield walls!" The order was echoed down the caravan by soldiers to his left and right. Moments later, high-pitched horns sounded a warning. Zahn turned back to the prince, whose face was now turned white with fear. "Prince, make haste! Get in and bolt the doors and windows!" The princess's disparaging visage sank back through the waves of white silk as Zahn nimbly rode forward through the clusters of clockwork motions of his troops, hastily preparing for the black waves of screaming Mongols pouring down from the high shadow cloak clefts sunk dagger deep into the towering cliffs surrounding them.